inhabited planet Earth's a rocket wagon train upon a journey. And what if aliens don't fight an actress named Sigourney? We're not a bunch of geeks who live in basements, sleep on futon's, but who wouldn't stream our podcast if we're calling it Space Croutons. It's an intergalactic, robot automatic, moon dust sporadic trip around the sun. It's a totally terrific, proven scientific, freaking fantastic phaser set to fun. It's Space Croutons.
We think.
Get your spacesuit on.
It's pink.
We're triple Q. On that you can rely. And once you've tossed your
salad
in your flying saucer,
it's valid
to add Space Croutons for lunching with Lucy in the sky.
With Neil Diamond?
Lucy in the sky.
I love Neil Diamond.
Lucy in the sky.
No, not Neil Diamond.
With Space Croutons.
Hello, faithful listeners, to this episode of Space Croutons. I'm your host, Curdy Clammerwood, broadcasting live from our mobile studio known as Van Helsing. Currently, we're headed on a cryptic journey to an unknown location. If you remember, I was told by Nicki to head in a particular direction, and that she would contact me after she was sure I wasn't being followed. I explained to Brittany and Aiden that I would contact them after I knew what was going on, and we'd work on a path forward together. I just hope we make it that far.
Curdy, I have an incoming call from Nicki. You should take it.
Absolutely, Sally. Connect the call. Do you think I should stop Van Helsing?
Nicki specifically stated not to stop until she instructs you to do so.
You're right again, Sally. Connect the call.
Connecting.
Nicki, are you there? Nicki?
Curdy, I just want to commend you on your ability to follow directions. You're a step above most men, especially Joe.
Nicki, we need to meet. I'm sure we can work something out. The two of us.
That would be something, wouldn't it? You and I on the same team, pulling together for the greater good. I'm quite sure my superiors would have a field day with that. No, dear Curdy, you have a role to play. A critical role, in fact. But you're a pawn in this game. An important piece, but still a pawn. Now listen, Curdy, you're getting close. I want you to get off the interstate at exit 49, then head south. Then after you turn south, I will contact you again. Remember, don't stop for anyone. I'll repeat my directions so I know you've understood them.
Head west until I get to exit 49, turn south, and you'll contact me again.
What else?
Don't stop for anyone.
That's right. That's all for now, Curdy.
Nicki, wait. One more thing. Just tell me who you're working with.
We lost the call, Curdy.
Tell me, Sally. Is it just me, or does she sound like my ex? And I don't mean in a good way.
Curdy, that does not compute. There are no discernible voice pattern matches.
Never mind. All right, folks. Typically, this would be a good time for a word from one of our sponsors, but, well, we don't have a musical sponsor this time around.
Not to worry, Curdy. I have been stockpiling alternative sponsors for some time now.
Well, that's great, Sally. Let's hear what you've got.
Here is a real blast from the past for our listeners. And if you listen closely, you might find a clue as to our whereabouts.
The quality is high in every Chesterfield you buy. The nicotine is low and we can show the reason why. We analyze tobaccos, we experiment and test. So when you're buying Chesterfield, you know you buy the best.
Here is a report that every smoker in America ought to know about.
In a recent decision, the Federal Trade Commission says of Brand X cigarettes that the use of diethylene glycol as a hygroscopic agent in the manufacture of X brand of cigarettes does not render such cigarettes non-irritating or less irritating than other leading brands of cigarettes using hygroscopic agents other than diethylene glycol.
Now, if the federal trade decision has made you wonder about the contents of your cigarette, you can be glad if you're smoking Chesterfield.
Chesterfield gives you scientific facts and names its ingredients. Chesterfield uses tobaccos pre-tested by laboratory instruments for the most desirable smoking qualities and kept tasty and fresh by the only tried and tested hygroscopic or moistening agents proven by over 40 years of continuous use in USA tobacco products as entirely safe for use in the mouth. Pure natural sugars and chemically pure, harmless, far more costly glycerol, nothing else. Chesterfield has the newest and most modern research laboratories and factories staffed by experts. Outside independent consultants include many eminent scientists from leading universities.
Believe me, friends, Chesterfield has for your smoking pleasure and protection every advantage known to modern science. For you, that means Chesterfields are much milder, with an extraordinarily good taste and no unpleasant aftertaste.
Chesterfield's for me, Chesterfield's for me. You just say it's Chesterfield's for me.
Well, wasn't that interesting? We were really following the science on that one, huh? Now, where were we, Sally?
We have another call, Curdy.
Is it Nicki again? I have a few more things to say to her.
No, it's not Nicki. It's Brittany.
We'll put her through, Sally. Brittany, hello?
Curdy, listen. I don't have much time.
Brittany, I just spoke to Nicki. She told me...
Curdy, listen. There's going to be a traffic incident around mile marker 66, just before the Sweet Springs exit. Traffic is light today, so it won't last long.
How do you know where I am?
Make sure the door to Van Helsing is unlocked before you reach the traffic jam. Do you understand?
Okay, the door will be unlocked. Brittany, tell me how you know where I am. Brittany?
The call has been disconnected.
Is there something tattooed on my forehead that says, talk down to this guy? Okay, gentle listeners, it may be time for another quick break as I sort a few things out. We'll be right back after another blast from the past.
Look what's coming in your mail. It says, get 11 albums for only $1 when you join the Columbia Record and Tape Club. Terrific? Well, I'm about to tell you how to go this offer one better and get 12 records or tapes instead of 11 for that very same dollar. First, look inside. You'll see over 300 great albums. It's easy to find 12 you want because you have a choice of all the top labels, the music and performers you want most to hear. Now, to get your 12 records or tapes for only $1, all you do is look for the secret gold box. This one, right on the savings certificate. Secret? You bet. You see, there's no explanation, just the gold box. Inside the box, write the number of the additional record or tape you want as a bonus gift. Then, list your other 11 choices and mail the postpaid card. Mind you, that 12th record or tape is an extra bonus you just earned because you tuned in to me at this moment. Remember, it's our secret, so watch your mail for this package from Columbia and be sure to look for the secret gold box and to use it.
You know, I think I may still owe them a buck or two, but nevertheless, we're back. We just passed mile marker 70, so we're within a few minutes of Brittany's traffic jam. Sally, unlock all of Van Helsing's doors if the speed falls below 30.
No worries, Curdy. It's already taken care of.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure how this is supposed to work. I mean, I don't see anything yet. Sally, can you look ahead at the traffic to warn me of an impending...
Traffic is slowing, Curdy. Disabled vehicle ahead.
I'm impressed, Brittany. Okay, we've almost slowed down to a crawl now as I see the disabled vehicle ahead. There's a guy leaning over the side of the car with his head under the hood. Wait a minute. Is that Aiden?
All clear.
Brittany, is that Aiden? Who else do you have with you?
Relax, Curdy. We're on your side, remember? I think you may know this guy.
Joe! What are you doing here?
It's a long story, and we might not have time to get into it right now. How much time do we have before you get off the interstate?
Only about 10 or 15 miles. I was told to get off at exit 49, then turn south.
That's good. Just follow her directions to the letter, but keep the doors unlocked when you get off the interstate.
Roger. Rendezvous at exit 49. We'll be heading south after exiting the interstate.
How did you know where to find me?
We've been in front of you. Do you really think Van Helsing is that hard to recognize? Curdy, we're picking up a couple more passengers when you exit the interstate. We need to have a plan. I'm not sure we can trust Nicki.
Yeah, that's an understatement. But tell me why.
Curdy, I've been around Nicki my entire life, but there's something different about her. She's convinced that I believe she's my sister, but...
She's not, is she?
No, she's not. But she's been pretending to be for a long time now.
And your real sister is...
Brittany.
How do you know? No offense, Brittany, but how can you be sure, Joe?
Curdy, do you know how you feel a connection with your sibling? Something that can't be explained, even after years apart? Well, we have that connection. Nicki tried to fake it, but it's not the same.
I know, Joe. I know.
Curdy, the pieces are starting to fall into place. And although we're now sure who Nicki is working with, we know they don't have our best interests at heart.
Okay, what do we do now?
Drive!
Okay. Look, we only have a few minutes, so I'm going to turn it over to Sally for one more commercial break before we reach our exit. I'm sure we'll be too busy to take breaks afterwards. Sally?
Cue the call.
Curdy, I've one more blast from the past. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't.
Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. Almond Joy's got nuts, mounds don't. Almond Joy's got real milk chocolate, coconut and munchy nuts too.
Curdy, we have a call. It's Aiden.
Aiden? Are you there?
I'm here, Curdy.
So what do I owe this unexpected pleasure?
Curdy, I don't know where Brittany is. Has she contacted you?
No, Aiden, I haven't heard from her since you guys left me a few days ago.
She left, disappeared, and she took all the objects with her. She said she was headed east because you were headed west, and she wanted to be as far away from you as possible. I wanted to let you know, in case you hear from her, please tell her to contact me. I'm really worried.
I'll be sure to keep an eye out for her.
Thanks. Okay, I'm in Maryland and the traffic is picking up. I'll check back with you.
Thanks for the call, Aiden. What the heck was that all about?
Well, we know all the calls you receive are broadcast, so we wanted to give Nicki something to think about.
And whoever she's working with. Hey, isn't this our exit?
Yes, it is. Sally, make sure the doors are...
Unlocked. The doors are unlocked, Curdy.
Thank you, Sally.
Heading south.
Hello, Curdy.
Hey, Curdy.
Alright, Curdy, you need to keep following Nicki's directions. Head south.
Greetings, you two. Boy, it's starting to seem like a reunion or something. Oh, okay, now listen, everyone. I'm not sure how long we'll be driving. Nicki said she'll contact me after I get off the interstate. How do I explain your presence?
Don't worry, Curdy. We won't be here long.
Curdy, Nicki is working with someone. We're unsure who, but they intend to get their hands on as many objects as possible. There's a power in each, and we think that together, they're even more powerful.
World-changing power.
We have to keep Nicki off guard and find a way to get the objects away from them. I don't think anyone is safe as long as they have any of the objects in their possession.
Well, who is Nicki working with?
That's what we'd like you to find out.
Me? Why me?
Well, she thinks she can control you.
Joe, you've been the closest to her. Can you help Curdy find out?
That's too dangerous. She'll turn on him in a heartbeat.
Joe, what do you think? Can you pull it off? You know, pretend you don't know anything? I know it's risky, but what other choices do we have?
Brittany, I'm not sure if I'm ever going to get used to calling you that. It may be our best shot at gaining her confidence.
That's the spirit.
No, Joe, you can't. I just found you after all these years, and I won't chance losing you now.
I know. Joe, make up a story of betrayal. Brittany and you have to appear to have no bond, or it won't work.
Agreed. You won't lose me, sis.
Okay. Now, what objects do we control?
Well, I have the mood ring.
And I have the rabbit's foot, and Aiden has the banana hanger.
Medallion.
And I have the gemstone. Where are your objects?
Nobody knows where they all are.
Safer that way, don't you think?
Yeah, you may have something there. So, what do we do?
We have to try to get our hands on as many objects as possible. If Nicki gets our objects, there's no telling what they'll be able to do. And even as it stands now, Nicki can do things we can't. They seem to be getting more powerful every day.
We have to stop them, Curdy.
Agreed. What if we lured them to a meeting where they think they'll be able to get their hands on the rest of the objects? Joe, you'd have to work on the inside, ensuring Nicki and her minions have the objects nearby. I can act as a go-between to set up a meeting. But one thing is critical.
What's that?
What is their weakness?
Of course. We have to exploit their weakness.
Exactly. We need to know what their kryptonite is.
Crypto what?
Never mind. We'll need Nicki and her entire team there, Joe, including the person or persons she's working for.
She's power hungry. It shouldn't be too hard to get everyone there.
Joe, is there one of the quardacs that she talks about a lot, something that seems more important to her than the others?
Now that you mention it, there is. She keeps mentioning a white elephant, That seems to be the key to everything.
Okay, keep your eyes and ears peeled for that. I'll try to bring it up too when I talk to her. Now, I think we should part ways before Nicki calls back. How do I reach you?
Here's a radio, Curdy, along with a table of frequencies that you should use to contact us. Just know we'll be close. You're not alone, though.
Joe, how will you get back to Nicki?
Don't worry, she'll find me.
Okay, these small towns all seem to have something in common. Red lights. You guys be ready to get out at the next light.
Preparing to stop. Exiting the vehicle. Prepare to pick up.
Copy that.
One more thing.
What's that?
Please be careful, everyone. They're capable of anything.
Sally, any idea where we're headed?
Your guess is as good as mine, boss, but we may not have to wait very long to find out. We have a call. It's Nicki, connecting.
Hello, Curdy. I see that you've been making good time. I wanted to let you know that you're almost there. There's something I want you to do first, and don't give me that BS that you're unable to do it. I know you, and I know your abilities to make things happen.
What else do you need me to do, Nicki?
Bring the objects with you.
Which objects?
Don't play coy with me, Curdy. I could just as easily get someone else to do this, but you're fun to control.
Okay, Nicki, I'll bring them. Where am I going?
Oh, Curdy, I think you're going to like this one. We've looked high and low for a suitable place. A place that'll go down into history as the place where the origins of civilization changed.
Nicki, one more thing. I need you to bring your friends with you.
Friends?
I think you know who I mean. I want to meet the people behind all this.
You're hardly in a position to make demands, but I don't think that'll be a problem. We're anxious to get our hands on the remainder of the objects.
And don't forget the white elephant.
You've done your homework. I'm impressed. Don't worry, Curdy. We'll have everything we need to verify your objects. Now, how much time do you need to gather them?
I need at least a week.
I would have been disappointed if you had asked for anything less. We'll meet you tomorrow evening at midnight. There's a small town, not too far down the road. Meet us at the post office. In Humansville.
We lost the call, Curdy.
Thanks, Sally. You heard it, audience. The meeting is tomorrow night at midnight, post office in Humansville. So we'll pick up the show after that. In the meantime, you know the drill. Keep peace in your heart until our next story time.
What if planet Earth's a rocket wagon train upon a journey? And what if aliens don't fight an actress named Sigourney? We're not a bunch of geeks who live in basements, sleep on futons, but who wouldn't stream our podcast if we're calling it Space Croutons.
Space Croutons is a work of original fiction. Similarities to persons, situations, or events, real or fictional, is coincidental and unintentional. Created and written by Jerry, Jace, John, Della, and Jeff Goodson. Episode 23 story by John. Original music by Jeff. Production by John, Jerry, Jared, Della, and Jeff. Featuring the voice talents of Brittany, Nicki, Jared, John, Della, Jace, Jeff, and Sally. Entire work copyright 2020 by Jeff, John, Jerry, Della, and Jace Goodson. This has been a Good Witch audio production.